Hello Australia, welcome to another Big Couch coming your way, episode 512 to be exact. We have got a big show coming up. Check out who's on the show today. On the show today we're talking to our good friends Rachel Siewert and Ken Wyatt, of course from our Pollies. Can't wait to talk to them. Cameron Lynch is back with another Showbiz segment. And we're talking to our bitches, the bitching team. Ted, Nat and Cam are back and we spin it up. Thanks to Ozito, we give a home viewer a great chance of winning some great Ozito prizes. And we've got you as well joining in at home. We're going to talk to our Pollies very soon, and we've also got a fantastic singer coming up. This is The Couch, episode 512.
It's showtime on the couch. Yeah, it's showtime on the couch. You can see it from your house. You can watch it from your house. It's showtime on the couch with friends and the best in town. Oh, it's showtime on the couch.
Leuba is a wonderful performer as well as a perfumer. He is performing the opening song today. I've actually requested he play this song because I want to remember why I fell for Tony Abbott, and while Leon sings a beautiful song called Fell For You. Here it is.
It's just another night shift, as was the one before. You're slaving in the kitchen, I'm waiting on the floor. You wanted my attention, I didn't know your name, but I could have fallen over when you passed by my way. And even though I never told you, I swear it's true. You set your tender trap, I fell for you. You were so pretty, what could I do? And sure as the rain falls down, I fell for you. I knew I couldn't have you. Not ever. I knew I was a fool. You couldn't help yourself. It only took a girl like you, such a lady, to make me lose my cool. Now it's all that's left to do. Couldn't help yourself. Just put it in a song. Such a lady, of how you gave to me a sign, and how I played along. And even though I never told you, I swear it's true. You set your tender trap, I fell for you. You were so pretty, what could I do? And sure as the rain falls down, I fell for. I never told you, I swear it's true. You set your tender trap, I fell for you. You were so pretty, what could I do? And sure as the rain falls down, I fell for. Sure as the rain falls down, I fell. Sure as the rain falls down, I fell for you.
That is Leuba, and he'll be performing another song at the end of the show. I'm very passionate today because I've got my good friends from our political backgrounds. We've got Senator Rachel Siewert from the Greens. Thank you for coming in today.
My pleasure.
And welcome back.
Thank you.
And our good friend, the member for Hasluck in the Federal Parliament, Ken Wyatt. Welcome back.
No, thank you, Fred. It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
And can I say it is a tough day today because here in Perth it's the day after the election, of the Queensland election, and of course it looks like the Labor Party could have won that election, and it could be that the Labor government's back in after a first term for the Premier in Queensland. He's been thrown out. I want to start firstly, if I can, I might start with yourself, Rachel. Where do you think Queensland went wrong, and what are the signs for the federal government?
Well, I think broken promises, I think being, people thought some of the measures that were brought in, they weren't aware that that's what the government was going to do. Some of the issues around some of the social policies there, selling off, leasing the assets, I think is a major issue. People didn't vote for that. And I don't think you can count out the federal situation. It was quite obvious that Mr Abbott's on the nose. It's quite obvious that they didn't want him in Queensland, and I think people saw some of the things that are happening federally matching up with what was happening in Queensland.
Do you think this is a way that people could use their power as voters to use it as a referendum to say to Tony Abbott, you're on notice?
I don't think you can say it was a referendum about Tony Abbott.
Yep.
I wouldn't go that far. I think those issues played into what was on people's minds about the Newman government. The Newman government was not popular in Queensland. It was definitely state issues with some components of federal issues in there.
Okay. Over to you, Ken. As a member of the government, is it hard for you to sit there and watch what happened with the Queensland election, and then as a member of Parliament saying, okay, we're hearing the signs are out there that we're not doing too well in the polls?
It's always hard when you see a coalition government lose, as it looks as though it's done in Queensland. I think a couple of the things we've got to seriously take on board are when you have budget deficits of the magnitude that Campbell Newman inherited, then you have to make tough decisions. In making tough decisions, you decide where it is that you're going to make significant reforms. You also have to decide where you're withdrawing government expenditure that might be running ahead of proposed budget forward estimates. People don't like significant reforms suddenly. Australians have always been very conservative in any shift that we do. Rachel and I, in the work that we do on constitutional recognition, are much more acutely aware than many others. And sometimes when you are overly ambitious in wanting to bring about change rapidly, people react and they punish you at the ballot box.
I don't think you can just write it off as that too, though. I think Campbell Newman thought that he had a licence to work with developers. It was back to the old days in Queensland, and quite clearly things have moved on. So I think that played a part as well. I think
it
some
does.
of that, you know, people started getting the hints of the old corruption that went on in Queensland.
The Joe days.
The Joe days.
Yeah,
the
leadership
working
plays a
with
key
big
role in
business,
all of this.
The support for big business, I think that also played a role. People didn't want to go back to those bad old days.
We can't discount that Campbell Newman had a majority of how many seats?
Well, the Labor Party had 9 seats.
Only
They
9
started
seats.
with 7, didn't they? And they got 2
Yeah.
more. But so let's say they had 9 seats and the opposition had about 80, right? That was a huge majority. That I would have thought that Campbell Newman probably realised he was on the nose, but he never thought that he'd lose enough seats to lose government. So I think it struck him as a bit of a shock as well this morning when he wakes up and realises the job that he's done.
No, I think he realised that last night when I watched his speech.
He said that's the end of him in public life.
Fundamentally. But the other part of this is leaders have got to listen and take note of what's happening around within their governing
well, let's
area.
talk about, when you talk about leaders, there's a lot of talk today that Tony Abbott could be facing a challenge. You're one of the government members of the opposition, of the federal government, sorry, not I'm already calling you the opposition. But
No, we're not in opposition
how do
yet,
you
Fred,
read it?
come on.
How do you read it? I mean, are you disappointed that you haven't sold the message? Because I think a lot of it, they've been saying about the communication side from your government. You're not maybe communicating right to the public?
Look, it's any government that wants to effect change has to go out with a message of the reason for the change and the solutions they're seeking, and you've got to bring people with you. If you don't bring the population with you, then you cannot expect to have support. And that process means you've got to be open, you've got to talk about the reasons you're doing something, and then incrementally put it into place. You can do some harsh measures, and governments historically have done tough decisions within budgets, but at the same time when they've done them, they've sold them. Keating was one who went with a simple message of the Banana Republic when he was Treasurer to wake us up that we couldn't continue to spend at the rate we were. We had to rein in some of that. I think when a leader doesn't bring the people with them, people will punish.
People get lost. I have to remember the words of Tony Abbott, the famous words of Julia Gillard. My government will never introduce a carbon tax. Tony Abbott made 3 years of that, saying that she lied. I remember the words of Tony Abbott saying, I'll do what I say and say what I do. I will be honest, I will not lie, I will not do it. And there's been a lot of, the way the public would see it, there's a lot of backflips. The Medicare changes, the PPL, the social welfare changes with Centrelink. There's been a lot of things that make the government look quite nasty or mean-spirited. Do you see that from a member of Parliament?
Let me go back to what the public expects of all of us. They expect that when we give a commitment that we honour it. But there is also a proviso that we need to explain that if we come into government and we find that the Treasury is bare, that the economic downturn has had an impact, that the commodity prices in this country are now dropping and that has had a significant impact, our costs are blowing out, then you have to make some tough decisions. But when you make them, if I talk to you, Fred, and I make you a promise and then I have to break it, I will be
you need to tell me
open
why
to tell you why I'm doing it and the reason I'm doing it, and then saying to you, I want you to bear with this until we get to a point where we can reinstate. In some cases you can't reinstate, and it is going to be a tough journey. I listened to Christine Milne this morning raising her concerns. And everybody is going to have a position on where Tony Abbott should be. But in terms of the discussion and rumours around leadership, yes, that's strong. But I keep saying we've got to wait till we get back together in the party room where we as a total group of coalition members can have the frank discussion. We can't do it through
Rachel,
media.
There's the issues around the communication of, as you've just been saying, but there's also the communication about what. And the fact is that these policies, a lot of these policies are mean-spirited
They come
and
across
unfair.
mean-spirited.
No, they are. Putting a young person, which is what Mr Abbott wants to do, off income support for 6 months with nothing is blatantly unfair, and it's too far, and the community, for once, when do you ever see a budget that's talked about for so long after it was delivered? We are still talking about that unfair budget. So there's
the
an
minister's
issue
pulled back
here
from
around
that though, Rachel.
Well, it's still, that legislation is still on the books in the Senate.
I accept that.
There.
It's still there.
It's bad policy, and so no matter how much you try and sell it, the community is saying, no, that's unfair. Why don't you target some of those other areas that you could be
What
getting?
would you target, Rachel, if you could target things to make money?
So, for example, let's look at the big end of town, and what we've been looking at is also the tax evasion that's going on. Now, a whole lot of people from the ATO get sacked, and now we're putting people back on the ATO to go and try and get some of that money back. Let's look at those sorts of measures. Fossil fuel subsidies. There's a range of measures that have been identified that could put money back into the budget without affecting those most vulnerable in our community.
But
what do you think?
beyond that, Rachel, if we were serious about that, then when the Gillard government were in, Greens should have had those discussions, because it would have been better to have done that 6 years ago or even 4 years ago than waiting to where the situation gets worse.
If you look at the measures that we took to the election and we're talking about before the last election, you'll see that those measures are there. Gillard government didn't pick those up.
No, but you're in a position to force it because you held the balance of
We achieved a lot
power.
in the balance of power.
So
Many
why didn't you-
measures, a
but why
carbon
didn't you
tax, for
achieve that?
example,
Moving
which
forward from this-
your government got rid of.
Rachel, moving forward from this, do you think there's a challenge to the Prime Minister? Do you think there will be a challenge?
I don't. I think.
Do you think he's safe?
I think his days are numbered, in my
You do
personal
think?
opinion.
So-
As standing from the outside, in terms of
I
not
heard
being
Bill
a member
Shorten
of the
today
party.
say that you can change the leader, but unless the party understands, this is Bill Shorten's words, unless the party understands that the public are not buying the policies of this government. So in other words, you could be Prime Minister, but if you're still pushing the same policy, the public aren't going to go with you. Are you agreeing and seeing that there's no point changing the leader unless you look at the policies and have a good, deep discussion with the public?
Look, the direction that the government set was to address the mess that Labor left. But we didn't sell the message. Even in the budget, the message didn't get through to people on the ground. It's got to a point now where people are now switching off. And that's a concern, because we've got to re-engage. And to re-engage, we're going to have to look at what it is that we're doing, what we need to, and I'll use the Prime Minister's words, to reboot, and he's promised to reboot. I'm certainly interested to see what
Well, the only thing
speech
he's
will be
booted
at
is
the
people
press
off
club
welfare.
tomorrow.
Look, I have to ask, when I was on 6PR, I did talkback, and a lot of the talkback callers were elderly people on welfare, disability pensioners. There's been a lot of changes there, the portability of disability. People see that as a waste of time. It's not going to achieve anything, but I find that there's a mood in the society to scare people. People feel scared. For the first time ever, people are scared to go away on holidays in case they come back to this small pension that is so important to people. They're so frightened they're going to lose their pensions. They're so frightened they're going to lose their welfare. Do you sense that people are saying, look, protect these things that we hold important in society, like Medicare, like education, hospitals, law and order, and welfare?
See, two things that are important to Australians. One is the healthcare system, and secondly is education. It doesn't matter whether it's primary through to tertiary. Those two elements of our life are crucial to all Australians, and they don't like tampering. And
It's
certainly,
clearly they've
you
said
have to
that.
have some reforms in some key areas. But there's other ways of doing it as well.
So what will you be telling your party? Because you're now part of the government. What will you be saying? And this is just your opinion, Ken. What would you like to see your side of politics do better?
Communicate, engage. I certainly have what I call coffee shops in every suburb in my electorate. I have open offices. I have a stall at the Midland Markets every third Sunday. So I'm engaging with people and I'm listening. And when they raise those issues, I take them back to the relevant minister. Because that is something that all of us should be doing at all times. Because it's only by listening to people, and I wasn't aware of the changes to the disability until I had a number of pensioners and people on disability pensions raise it with me. So I have taken that up, and I'll continue to advocate where it impacts adversely on people.
Okay. Do you think there'll be a leadership change?
Let's
You're
wait
gonna say
until
no.
Tuesday the 9th.
You're not going to put your hand up, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not
You're not even interested.
in prime ministership. I know the
It's a
workload
hard
it
job
has.
being government. I mean,
I enjoy working in my seat.
Rachel, as a quick wrap up, where do you think we'll be in a couple of weeks' time? Would you like to see changes? What would you like to see the government do?
I think that, well, obviously I don't think the government's a good government. I think they've made far too many changes that impact unfairly on the community. I think it's days or weeks we'll have a different Prime Minister, but the point is those policies need to change because they're not good for Australia.
Do you think we need to revert back some of those welfare policies, some of the hardship?
Fortunately, some of those policies, because the Senate hasn't supported them, haven't got through. Some of them have, with the support of Labor. The disability portability issue, one of them. That needs to be reversed, but the other legislation needs to be abandoned, and we need to start looking at how we actually do support the most vulnerable in our community. One of those, including, is putting the money back into community services that has been taken out just before Christmas. $240 million has come out of discretionary grants for community services. That needs to be returned.
Do you look forward to working closer with the government in this year when the Parliament returns?
I look forward to working constructively
'Cause I
in
noticed
the
there's been-
Senate
Yes,
to get good legislation up and to stop the poor policies that the government's
Because there
currently
are
putting up.
rumours out there that the government's saying that they do want to work with the opposition and the Greens to try and get legislation through and compromise. That's a good sign.
If they're putting good legislation up, it's worth supporting. Obviously,
Fantastic.
we'd support it, but at the moment, we're not seeing that good legislation.
Thank you very much for coming in today. You've got a hard job ahead of you, Ken. I look forward to that meeting that you're going to hold with the Prime Minister. Hopefully the government will come across a bit more generous. I would love to see the Prime Minister maybe tackle some more important issues in the country and maybe lay off the welfare side, because I do think Australians are quite scared when we start touching Medicare and welfare. Thank you very much for being here today. We've got the Bitchin panel coming up. You probably haven't heard the last of the PM's leadership problems. We're going to be talking about that next on Bitchin. And thank you to the politicians for coming in today. We'll be back after the break. Well done.
You would cry too if it happened to you.
Don't believe me, just watch.
It's Bitchin time for 2015, our first Bitchin segment, and we've got our fantastic panel here today. Let me introduce them from right to left. We've got Ted Bull. Thank you very much for being here today.
Right? I should be me, right?
You're
Yeah, you
always
should be
right.
on the left.
Welcome back. What's Ted been up to?
Well, I did a pantomime, and it was The Wizard of Oz, and I played the part of Elvis
In the Wizard of Oz.
in The Wizard of Oz.
Or Costello.
He was there because the Colonel booked him for 3 weeks, and he liked it so much he decided to stay. and I got to live out all my fantasies from my childhood when I was 13, standing in front of the mirror with a tennis racket doing blue suede shoes, and there I was,
Were you
70
doing the-
years of age,
you
doing
doing
blue
the
suede
Queen
shoes.
thing?
Well done.
I did the whole thing.
Fine.
Oh, the body just was absolutely crazy.
And are you
believe
still
I
on
missed
Curtin
it.
FM?
Yeah, occasionally
You
pop
still
in
do
there.
breakfast
Yeah,
every
still do a little bit.
So you're
Yep.
doing a lot more acting now.
Well, yeah, and this year I've already got a role playing, how do I put it, a flamboyant publisher.
Really? How do you do flamboyant?
Oh, you're asking me?
I don't
Borrow
know.
your shirt.
Let's go straight to Nat. Welcome back, Nat, from the
Thank you.
RSPCA
Thank you.
and media presenter and all that sort of thing.
Oh, occasionally
What have you
at
been up
6
to
p.m.
over the break?
Do you know what I'm into now? I've got to tell you because the
Can you
stats.
tell us?
Yes, the stats have
good.
come out,
Yep.
and caravanning. I am so into caravanning because
I knew you were into
Do
camping,
you know
but not
what?
caravanning.
No, caravanning. I'm too old for camping, Dal. Caravanning.
Glamping.
Because at 10 o'clock in the morning you start drinking and nobody looks at you as if you're an alcoholic. Everybody drinks at 10 o'clock in the morning.
I must admit, I
Yes.
enjoy.
Boating.
I've been doing camping as well, but I haven't done the caravan. But I
Oh,
have
you've
gone
got to do
New
caravan.
Zealand. I did the whole Winnebago thing, and I loved
Yes.
it. Loved it.
Do you know it's really popular now? The new stats have come out, and the most popular group coming into it are 35 to 49-year-olds.
Oh, I'm in there.
Oh, no, I'm past that.
you
I'm
both.
right in
We're
there.
still in it.
We can still do
Yeah,
it.
we can
still
still
do
do
it.
it.
As long as you've got a nice Winnebago with a nice air
What about
conditioner,
the- yeah,
fridge, you
but
stop
the
where
one-
you like.
But how about having to go to the ablution block?
Oh,
no,
we had a
it's-
toilet in
shoes
there.
up,
We
you know,
had a
and it's
toilet
all-
in there.
No, that's what we're getting.
Yeah.
We've already organised it. We've got a Jayco on order, and it's got the toilet,
An
then
indoor
it's got
dummy.
it's got a shower,
Yep. And
it's
you
got
know,
the
it's
vanity
only
with a
about
mirror.
$100 a day. I'll tell you now, it's only $100 a day. And the greatest thing is, for being my size, obviously, I've got a 6-person unit, van, whatever you
Yeah.
call it.
A 6-person dummy?
For 2 people. 6-person car for 2
That's
people.
friendly, isn't
But
it?
it's really a good way.
Coming
But
over to Fred's place.
you did that in a camp sort of voice there. Cameron
I'm
Kippon,
auditioning.
welcome back.
That's getting ready for his part.
What have you been up to over the
I've
break?
been up
You've
the
been on holidays?
Mekong jungle. That's what I've
Ooh,
been.
up in Vietnam.
Vietnam. I had a great
How
time.
did you go on the canoes in that dirty water? They
I
stick in the
certainly
canoe?
did. I had to do all my upper body muscle exercises so as I could.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. Stood next to snakes. I've been there. I did it.
Oh, you saw Tony Abbott.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, you mean real snakes. Sorry. Who? The Prime Minister.
Awkward.
Tony, well, I reckon it could be who very soon after we talk to Ted. Ted, we've got a great story here that's
Yeah, of
happening at
course,
the moment.
it's a big story at the moment. Of course, the talk that there's a possibility there could be a leadership change in the coalition government.
Why do we need a leadership change, Ted? From your opinion, you've seen what's happening in the arena of politics. What's wrong?
Well, unfortunately, I think Tony Abbott has lost contact with the electorate. I think you'd all have to agree, the Duke of Edinburgh getting the knighthood, it was just laughed. Ha ha! Everybody
Liz-
went, I woke up and I thought,
Well,
this is
hold the
today's
thought.
joke.
Hold the thought.
Tony, how
'cause
do you do it?
Hold the thought. Well, maybe she doesn't want to hold the thought. Hold the thought. Have a listen to this, and then we'll come back and talk to Ted. Let's have a listen to this caller.
What's the specific problem? Is there a policy thing you don't agree with?
I think he's saying it's you.
No, Mr. Prime Minister, it's the way you do things, like the Medicare thing, with the education. You've done so many backflips. People don't know where you're going, and business are saying there's roadblocks because there's no direction, there's no leadership, and that concerns me as a Liberal voter. We can't afford a Labor government, but you're going to put Bill Shorten back in the lottery with a massive majority because people simply don't like you, and as a Liberal voter, I don't particularly like you.
Well,
I think what it also highlights there is that party loyalty is a thing of the past. Look what just happened in Queensland. Amazing.
Who would have thought that the Labor government would be returned after an 80-seat majority by the opposition, by the government?
And I just think that people of my generation, we had and have had party loyalty, but I think those younger than me, which is most everybody else in Australia these days, I mean, you look at the product and say, if this is the product we want, that's what we want.
Well,
if it's not,
you're
take
right,
a running
Ted.
jump and a
I
rolling
heard this
donut.
morning that the public now, like you've just said,
Yeah.
are very quick to punish. They don't go, oh, just hang on, I'll wait. They basically told Campbell Newman, 3 years is enough. We don't like what you stand for. We don't like your politics. You stink, and we're going to kick you out. And they kicked him out, and now Labor is back in after only holding 9 seats in
It's
Queensland.
amazing. But just back to the Abbott thing, if you don't mind. I know it's your show, but hey,
Go for
it. Welcome. And that is really, who do you place Tony Abbott with? Turnbull, they don't like him
No.
in the party. Julie Bishop, great foreign minister.
Too
but
tough. There she is there. Have to listen to her.
I mean, I think she, and I think anybody who talks about the major event in her week being losing a pearl earring, certainly
when you've got
has
planes
got Prime
crashing and
Minister
people getting
stuff in her
killed.
bones,
What do you
hasn't she?
think, Nat, quickly?
Look, I never voted for him in the first place, so...
Do you think what do you think he's doing wrong as a Prime Minister? He's there now as a Prime Minister. What
Right.
would you say you'd like to see him change?
He's got no integrity. And the Liberal person said it before. I just don't like him. I don't think he's a very nice person. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
I
know
think
I've
there's
never
a
met
few-
the guy. You sent me that joke. Remember that joke you sent me?
Yes, I did.
What did Mickey Mouse get for
for his
Christmas?
A Tony Abbott watch?
Yes! I love that.
I've met him. Do you know where I met him?
Mickey Mouse.
No, I met Tony Abbott in the dunny at the ABC. And he turned around and he said, "Hi, I'm Tony."
Oh, did he not wash his hands?
No, I'm joking.
Was
That's
that-
a joke.
was
But
that
I
with
did
the other
meet him
hand?
there. He was very friendly.
That was with the other hand. He's got two
He
hands.
was really nice to me. He said, "Oh, hi, how are you? I'm Tony Abbott." And I
He
said,
is a nice man,
yeah.
actually. Apparently,
Good on you.
Speak to men in toilets.
well,
Yes.
apparently the comment has been that Tony Abbott, if you actually meet him, you'll find he's a nice man.
Yeah,
he's
but
just out of touch. Like Ted said, he's lost touch with the normal
The
people.
whole winking thing
I
as well.
don't
Cameron?
think he ever was cut out to be the leader of the party. And I always said this. I said this in the show once or twice. He was a patsy, and he no longer is required.
Do we think he's going to be dumped? Do we all think? Yes, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, he's gone.
There you go. Tony Abbott, maybe new Prime Minister. Okay, Nat, quickly.
Oh, look, yeah, yours are very important stories, but not nearly as important as mine. Hot chip vending machines, because, of course, we need more saturated fat in our lives.
Let's have a look at the footage. We've got some footage as well while we're talking. We'll have a look at that. We've got some footage of the West Australian guy that actually created these chips.
Here we go.
Talk to us.
So it is an Australian company.
West
It's
Australian.
West Australian.
Yeah,
it
West
is.
Australian.
It's in Manjimup, actually. They spent over 5 years perfecting this vending machine. So basically what happens is you put your money in, it goes from frozen to the fryer and into your cup within 2 minutes and 20
How
seconds.
good is that? Do you know what? It is good,
Sophisticated.
apart from the health concerns. You can use air
doomed,
frying as well if
Captain
they want to
Mannering.
make it healthier.
Yeah,
aren't
but
they?
have you tried air fried chips?
No, they're horrible.
No, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I might as well just go and
Look, you
bulk
can get
buy a dozen moo-moos right now.
Oh, but what a great idea, though.
I'm going to buy one for my lounge.
It's obviously come from
Chip
Asia,
vending
the
machine.
idea.
You know you can get cupcakes and stuff and muffins.
Yes.
Vending
Mashed
machines,
potatoes.
Yeah.
Is he
Mashed
apparently he's going to be launching it all around Australia? Is that right?
He's going to try it first of all. I think it's in Adelaide and Perth.
Yep.
So look at that. And it's not completely unhealthy. It's not like you drive through because
No,
you've
the
got to
carton
walk.
is good for you.
And well, the thing is, you've got to walk to the vending machine,
is it?
don't
Correct.
you?
Oh, no,
And then you've got to
they'll
stand there for
invent
2
a
minutes.
mobile for
And they don't
Segway.
even have to do an autopsy
Segway.
because they'll know why you died because they'll find
We're
you near the
feeding-
machine.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're all so fat.
Do you think it's a good idea? Cameron, let's
No.
ask you first. No, you don't
No,
like the idea?
it's not a good idea.
Why?
Reason.
Well, apart from anything else,
not healthy?
well, no, there's no social interaction between you and the machine. I like going to the chip shop. You always get something better.
You always get a
It's the
Greek
fish shop,
person
you
that's
get
behind
somebody
the
else.
counter, unless you want.
But no, I think
What
it's
a
the
wonderful
worst
life you have, your
absolutely.
entire social experiences.
Indeed.
Is with someone who
Many,
makes
I have
bloody
met
hot
many a
chips.
friend in a fish
Cabby,
and chip shop.
get a life!
I'll very often go in and ask for a crocodile supper, make it snappy.
I
Very
like
good.
this Chico roll, deep fried. And you can even get Mars bar now.
Mars bar deep fry.
They deep fry
That's
Mars bar.
an English thing.
Oh, there you
Scottish
go.
thing. Let's
it
be
Scottish?
yes.
Ted, would you like this to catch on?
Oh,
No, no.
Look, you know,
You don't care?
I'd rather talk about who the next Prime Minister is going to be
a
and
chip vending machine.
whether the Lodge will have a chip vending machine in the foyer.
No, they're
Anything
having a
else you want
Tony
to touch
Abbott.
on that?
No,
Cameron,
on,
over to
I
you.
say.
Cameron, what's your story?
I'm talking about de-stressing in males, very
this is a good
important,
one.
and that you would like to think that going out with your spouse would actually take the stress levels down.
Really?
It doesn't. You would like to think
The opposite
spending a
effect.
day with the family, I hope my grandchildren's parents are listening, that doesn't de-stress them either.
Really?
What helps is going out with the boys. Down to Northbridge, the drinking places, taking the fleas off each other's skin, because that's what the monkeys or the apes do that have been studied. Because this is a study from Germany where they've looked at monkeys, and what they found is when the male monkeys go out with the other male monkeys and bond, their stress levels drop. But
And
not
do
when
they
they're-
also go and buy hot chips? Because obviously this
No,
is
they-
something else that
no,
you
they haven't
enjoy.
quite got there yet.
Taking
So
fleas off your
the
best
whole
mates.
point of this, what's the point of this? Saying men should be allowed to go
Men
out?
should be allowed to go out with men, and they'll be more stress-free.
Well, see, my brother-in-law has a men's night once a month, He invites them in. He's got a men's shed at the back, and they play pool.
Is it a sauna?
No, not. They have to keep their
Is it one
clothes
of those men's nights?
They drink, they play
clothes on.
cards. They drink, they play cards, and they have pizza. My sister's still in the
Body
house,
paint.
and the men go home about midnight. They do this once a month. Do you have a problem with this? Would you like to see a ladies' club? Maybe ladies.
I love it when we have ladies' nights.
And
I must
body
admit.
paint and sauna.
But it's
and-
natural. Oh yeah, we have spas and body paint. Yeah, nails.
What do you reckon? Getting
Nails.
together and do. Look, my wife
you
Julie
have
did it
boys'
with two
clubs?
of her granddaughters, 5-year-olds. They came over and drank tea out of fine cups and did their
that's
nails, and she had a
sweet.
lovely day.
Yeah.
So why shouldn't I have my grandsons over
And have a high tea.
and
And a stripper.
Have a high tea and a stripper. Now you're
with hot
talking.
chips.
If the
there's
boys
3 and 2. Oh, why not?
Well, absolutely, all the more reason. You stay
and
there,
pony
boys.
Rides. I have no issues with the boys
Oh,
wanting to go
it's a
out.
lot of fun.
Go out, have fun.
Yeah, why not?
You know.
Who are they hurting?
We did have another story on a lady that decided to marry herself. We didn't have time to go. We could probably give you 1 minute because I can cut it off, spin it to win it. So let's just quickly. The lady that said
Yes.
she married herself. What was that all
Well,
about?
that was in Houston, Texas. Oh, of course, America. She couldn't find the one by the time she got to 40. So at her 40th birthday, she married herself.
Have a look at these news reporters.
Who just tied the knot all by yourself.
Take a look at some of the photos from the wedding. Yasmin Elby vowed that if she didn't find love by the time she turned 40, she would exchange vows with herself. Yasmin says the key to happiness is loving yourself before loving someone else, and I think RuPaul said that perfectly.
Work.
And why not? I wonder if she got gifts.
Oscar, sorry, we're back. Oscar, I love it when I quote. Oscar Wilde once said, he said, self-love.
I know, right?
Self-love is the only true love that never dies.
Self-love.
Oh, I see. But the thing is, she's not the first. It was an Australian woman who was 50, and she actually
You're right.
married a picture of herself.
So it wasn't
Yeah.
true.
But
And
one
Well,
has
that
to
was an inanimate object.
Yeah, it was
Yes,
an image
but the
problem.
thing is, I wonder
Yeah.
how you get into that.
and
Is it
can
one
I-
of these selfie sticks, and then
Yes,
you move
I've
on
got
to
one of those,
marrying
they're
yourself?
fantastic.
Oh, no, you haven't.
Yes,
Thank
I've
you.
got
Oh,
a
you
selfie
shouldn't give in
stick.
to
Thank
that.
you very much. Can I just add, just at the end of that conversation, now that she's married herself, do you
Yes.
think that it opens the conversation to say, what else can she do with herself?
Well, imagine the wedding night.
Well, she can go into the chip machine vending.
I hope she's waited until her wedding night.
Well, so do I. And
Thank you very
I
much.
hope the
Let me
Duracell
let me
rabbit
thank
is there to help as
let me
well.
thank
She was
Ted
up all
Ball.
night waiting
Thank
for
you,
her.
Ted. Thank you very much to
Loving
Nat
you,
Foster,
Des.
and thank you to Cameron
My
and Kippon
pleasure.
as well. That is the Bitchin' team, and thanks for being part of it. We're going to give away a $50 Faster Pasta voucher, thanks to Faster Pasta. If you would like to win one of these fantastic Faster Pasta vouchers, check out what you can spend it on. Here it is. You can win $50 just by entering the word Faster Pasta. It is Faster Pasta. It's on the screen right now. Don't spell it right, otherwise you'll get it wrong. 0439 929 929. It's 0439 929 929. You need to put your name and your address, and then what we can do is pick a random person next week. And if you're that person that sends in the SMS, be the first one with the word Faster Pasta. And they've got the fantastic $8.90 meals every single lunchtime. I think it's 8 lunches for $8.90. Go in and check it out. fasterpasta.com.au. Thank you very much to everybody here, and I'll see you next month for another Bitchin'. Thank you. We'll take a break. Be back with more of The Couch after this. Welcome back to The Couch here on Aurora Television around Australia on Foxtel. Thanks for your company. We're going to change pace now. We did Bitchin', we did the Pollie Waffle. Now we're going to talk about some serious things that really matter to people. We're going to talk to Mandy. She's from the Cancer Support WA. Welcome to The Couch, Mandy.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here.
I'm very happy to be here.
And we're not going to talk politics today. We're going to talk with you about the Cancer Support WA. Tell us what it's all about.
Well, Cancer Support WA is a Western Australian organisation that provides support services such as 24-hour counselling phone support and also quite a comprehensive wellness program.
So how does it help people in WA?
It gives people free support services in their immediate time of need, and the wellness program helps people understand what it might take to get better from cancer or to live better with
Now,
cancer.
are you related to the Cancer Council? or
Two
you work
separate organisations. We do quite different work in the community.
Okay. Now, Cancer Day
Yes.
has just been last week.
That's
Tell us,
right.
How does that all work? What happens on that day?
Well, Cancer Day is a global initiative that's really about bringing awareness and recognition to issues around cancer. So the theme of this year's World Cancer Day was cancer is not beyond us. And that's a message that we really want to get out as an organisation too.
What does that mean?
It means that while a cure might be beyond us at the moment for many cancers, support services, living better with cancer, better outcomes are not beyond us at the moment. Together as an organisation, as a community, there's always hope.
Fantastic. That message needs to get out there
Absolutely.
as well. Sunflowers at Sunset, this term, what does that mean?
Sunflowers at Sunset is an initiative of Cancer Support WA to release sunflower seeds at sunset in blooms into the sky, and then they'll fall back down to earth, and hopefully beautiful plants will grow all over the city.
Sunflowers. So why sunflowers?
Because they symbolise hope, happiness, joy, and that's what we really want. There's a lot of negative associations around cancer, but we want to say there's always hope.
Fantastic outcome there. Why the the sunflowers for Sunset? If people want to get involved with that, has that already been, or is that happening very soon?
It's happening throughout the month of February.
Oh, so it's all of February?
Absolutely.
And how can people get involved?
We've got a social media campaign called Sunflower Selfies, so people anywhere around the world can upload their selfies.
Photo with a sunflower.
That's right. Sunflowers all over the world, falling to earth, and sunflowers growing everywhere.
So where is it taking place here in WA?
In WA, we launched the event at our new Cancer Wellness Centre in Cottesloe, but people can do this anywhere, wherever they might be.
And how does the community respond to these events?
Well, they can get involved through our social media platform, through our website, and if people want to donate as part of that, we're always happy to take donations as well to
Now, I'm
help
reading
support.
here, it says, what can hosting an event such as this do for the community? How helpful is it?
It brings awareness to the various issues of cancer. It sends strong messages of support to people who have cancer now.
Do you think the community, because we all know someone in our lives
Yeah, we do.
that's touched by cancer in
Yes.
some way, do you think it's becoming more and more relevant to all of us?
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at these statistics alone, each year in WA, at least 12,500 people are diagnosed. So that's 12,500 families, extended families, colleagues, communities. So of course, everyone has some experience of cancer in their lives, either directly or indirectly.
Now, you told me before we started this interview, you wanted to focus on one of the programs that you're running.
Yes.
Tell us about that one.
The Family Cancer Management Program is a new initiative of Cancer Support WA. And what we realise is that because cancer touches everyone in a family, that the whole family needs support, and they need to be working together as a team. If one person has one objective and the other family members aren't fully on board with that, it's going to be quite difficult for the family to implement positive change.
So how's that working? How's this support network working?
Well, what happens is a family can come to us, and for a period of 5 weeks they'll come as a group and they will see one of our wellness coaches that spends time with them each week as a family and coaches them on different areas of their life, including making positive changes, nutritional changes, managing stress, looking at goals.
And has this program already been running?
We've only just launched it.
So it's just
February.
started, so you don't know any statistics. It's obviously going to benefit so many people.
I think so, absolutely.
Can anybody get involved?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
How do people learn more if they want more information? How can they get it?
cancersupportwa.org.au.
That's your website. It's
Absolutely.
on screen right now. Funny enough, you said that. And how can people also get involved with the organisation, say, for example, as volunteers or helpers or sponsors or donating general things?
We love community support. We love our volunteers. They play such a vital role in helping us deliver our services and program. Again, calling our 24-hour line, accessing our website. There's information there on how you can get involved. And we're always looking for partners and sponsors to help us facilitate our events and activities as well.
You do an amazing job. 5-6 minutes is never enough to talk about. We'll have you back in again. But some of the work that you guys do, 24-hour cancer support phone line. You also do counselling for individuals and families. You also do information packs for people newly diagnosed with cancer. You also have cancer care packs, home and hospital visits from counselling staff, research, library, and you've also got the Wellness News magazine. In addition to this, Cancer Support WA is known for the teaching of wellness programs featuring seminars, courses, complementary therapies, great guest speakers covering the key areas of cancer wellness. You do such an amazing job. Now, your role in...
I'm the CEO at Cancer Support WA.
So you've got a very big role.
It is, that's right.
What's the biggest priority for you now? What do you need to keep you going?
To get our messages out, because our mission is really to help people in their time of need. So we just want everyone to know about the organisation and to get in touch when they need us.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to having you back on again.
Thank you
Let's
so
just
much.
quickly touch on this event. Can you want to run us through that?
Luke Ryan is a young author and comedian from Melbourne. He has been through cancer twice as a teenager and young man. And he decided at some point during that journey to focus on the funny side of what was happening
Which
to
is
him.
really important,
Absolutely,
to stay focused on
to
something.
laugh. So he wrote a book called A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to Chemo and developed that into a comedy show. So we're premiering that in Perth
When is that going to be?
this coming weekend, 13th, 15th of February.
Beautiful. And people can get tickets?
They can buy tickets on our website.
Fantastic. Give us that website one more time. We'll put it up on screen.
www.cancersupportwa.org.au.
Spot on. Thank you very much to Mandy, the CEO, for coming in. Cancer Support WA, we're going to see you a lot more on the couch. I look forward to actually attending that. That looks quite funny.
You'll love it, and we'll be very happy to host you there.
Thank you very much, and thanks for taking the time, and the work that you do is amazing.
Thank you.
Helping so many people. That is Mandy, of course, from Cancer Support WA. Check out our website, thecouch.com.au, if you missed any of those details, and I'm sure we'll put up all the details for Mandy as well. Thank you very much. Man that knows everything about showbiz and entertainment is back with us today. Cameron Lynch, welcome back.
Thank you for having me. A pleasure and a thrill to be back as per usual, Fred.
What are we talking about today?
Plenty of news out today. Now, Fred, you're known in your intimate circles of show business as a marathon man. You know, you're up
Marathon man?
Yeah, you're up in your health and your fitness and stuff like that. And I hear you're a new convert to the paleo diet. Is this correct?
It obviously pales in comparison because I've never heard of this. A paleo diet.
The paleo diet.
Well, I heard there's a guy that's better than me at this. He
Yes.
does a show called My Kitchen Rules.
That is correct.
And he likes to have a bit of a spat now and then.
That is correct.
Is that what you're alluding to?
Oh.
Thank God, because I'm thinking, have you told me something I didn't know?
That's right. Pete Evans from My Kitchen Rules. There he is there in that photo, and that's a photo from 2010, a scant 5 years ago. Young man looking quite healthy and fresh and stuff. And here, if the gentleman will indulge me for the next photo, is him in 2015. Yeah, not looking so great. Not the greatest selling point for the paleo diet, evidently. Yes,
Now, he's got a TV show that it's already been on air.
Yes, I believe it's a TV show and a web series, and it's him sort of touting or espouting the benefits.
What
of
is
this
paleo?
diet.
Just quickly.
As far as I know, it's back from the Paleolithic era.
Eating lots of meat.
The early days of man. So basically, you could only eat what you caught, or grew yourself. So sort of vegetables and fruits and basically meats and clean living. So no refined carbs and stuff. And it's basically just like going on a normal diet, just to lay off the fatty
So it's
foods
not
and
like me
stuff,
going down the Coles aisle with anything I
No.
could throw in the
No.
trolley. You have to actually eat animals that you value as pets.
The idea, basically is
It's
that
the old caveman thing.
Yeah, the caveman thing. They only ate what they caught, basically. But a lot of people basically saying that he's lost a lot of weight. He's undergone like a warning level of transformation. Like he's lost too much weight. He's a little too much tan. He's getting that orange sort of carrot bird.
And what happened to him here in Perth? He was here last week.
He was here last night, actually, at the
Okay.
time of filming here. So yes, last week, as you're hearing it, because we're in the future.
Hmm.
Yes, and basically he was talking about the new season of My Kitchen Rules. I think his new web series for some Channel 7 execs. He didn't quite like the cut of the jib as far as the questions from the peanut gallery. He threw a bit of a tanty and stormed off and said, "I need to go back to see my family in Sydney early tomorrow," or something like that. Some convenient excuse. So he's not taking it too well in his stride, but I think the proof is in the pudding. When you see those videos, he looked quite relatively healthy and young 5 years ago, and now he kind of looks like, I don't know what, basically. He looks like one of those talking trees from Lord of the Rings. It's not a great advertising point
Yeah, I must
for your
admit,
diet.
he must be very powerful at the 7 Network, because if he
Yes.
can get away with a spat
Yes.
with Christopher, with Kerry Stokes there.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Christopher.
yeah.
But Kerry Stokes was
I think
there.
Rebecca Gibney was there, a bunch of other sort of...
He got angry with the local reporter Blake, that asked him a couple
Yep.
of questions that he didn't know about his show.
Right.
And he was quite angry about that, and he stormed off, and then he said, "No, I had to leave, I had to go back to Sydney."
Yeah.
So I think he's got a bit of an ego issue as far as I'm concerned. concerned.
I don't really rate him anyway as
No,
a presenter.
I don't think so.
Menu's where it's at.
I think so
He
as
can
well.
probably do that show by himself.
Yep.
And by the way, where is the sauce? I don't know. He never tells us.
Have you got anything else for us?
Oh yes, we've got more. Bruce Jenner, the again triathlete, the patriarch and soon to be matriarch of the Kardashian family. It is confirmed that he is going under gender reassignment surgery.
He's going to become a female.
He's going to become a female, and coincidentally, after that's finished, he will be the most attractive female member of the Kardashian clan. But basically,
That wouldn't be very hard.
I know, exactly. Essentially, what's happened is he has undergone, I think, what they call a laryngeal. I pardon to all the doctors out there if I mess up that word. A laryngeal shaving, which means he's shaving down his Adam's apple, and that's basically the very first step to gender reassignment. But that happened like a year ago. So apparently the LGBT community kind of said, yeah, we were hip to the jive before it actually happened. He's actually come out and he's denied it through and through because basically he wanted a gentle transition into what was happening. The good news is that his family is very supportive of it. And again, I guess anything to keep him in the limelight.
Look,
Sorry to be cynical.
I think, Cameron, if you believe that you should have been whatever sex from birth, then I think that's your personal choice.
Absolutely.
If it makes you happy, that's pretty good. I mean, I know a couple of people that are transgender where they've gone from a male to a female.
Absolutely.
And I will say they've gone from being a very unattractive male to a very unattractive woman. And I think the same would apply to me if I did it. But I think if you do it because in your heart you believe you should be a male or female, then it's not about looks, and it's about being happy as a person.
And to be honest, there are some less sort of decorous members of society that might ruffle their nose at such a thought or such a process. But to be honest, they're not hurting anyone. They're doing it for themselves more than anything. So if they don't like it, then basically butt out. So good for him, and we hope him all the best on the process. Next up, a gentleman who's going through a rough process himself is Mr. Bill Cosby.
Oh, he can't do anything right.
Yeah, he had a story, or not a story, like a concert or a live performance in Sandusky, Ohio. Yes, if you're up on American politics, you'll realize how apt that is. That image we saw there was him leaving the building, or so you might seem. It was actually decoy.
Oh, okay.
7 Action News in the US actually followed this man, the man in black there with the hoodie on, leading it to believe that was Bill Cosby leaving the building, when in fact from just an eye shot away he was leaving in another SVU.
Bit of a distraction.
Absolutely. So
is that because he's not very popular anymore over in America?
Yeah, I think the whole sort of scandals, and if you've been following the news, basically he's kind of gone down the Rolf Harris path, unfortunately, of entertainment. So essentially he is keeping a lid on everything and trying to be as low key as possible, but he's still doing public performances, which is a little confusing to say the least. But yes, he's going to those sort of tactics. Next up is, I've completely forgotten. Oh yes, it's James Blunt. How could I forget him? Because he's so relevant these days. James Blunt, he was on the copy of the New Statesman here with a bunch of other celebrities, Illustrated, Informed, Benedict Cumberbatch, and the Prime Minister and stuff like that, saying basically, is posh sort of the way to break through the glass ceiling, essentially? And James retorted with this slightly homophobic tweet, coming back if we can get that up on image there.
We've got it there.
I won't be picking up the soap when this party moves to the showers, from the New Statesman.
You know what?
Basically.
That's very sad in 2015 that such a person that influences so many young people would put up a tweet like that.
Absolutely.
It just tells me again why Twitter and Facebook need to be controlled.
It is, but at the same time, it's like it's a free platform, and I think Twitter do like that, and any social media does like this sort of controversy. But on the flip side, it's James Blunt. He hasn't been relevant in 2006, so who cares what he really has to say? And I think the transgender and gay community have weathered worse in the storm. But I just think it's a lame joke. Like, come on, if you've got all day to sit around and tweet and think of something funny and original, but goes to show, if you've heard You're Beautiful, you know originality is not his forte. And finally, speaking of unoriginal, we have the season 2 of the Real Housewives. Oh, that photo, I don't think that's the right photo. I think that's the wax demonstrations from Madame Tussauds.
Is there
and the
another
Monsters.
one there? I think there's another photo.
Oh no, that is them. Sorry.
Sorry.
Oh no, okay, sorry. Oh yes, that is
which one's
them.
the wax
That is
one?
correct. That's the. Sorry, that's not the Monsters. That is the cast of the Real Housewives of,
okay.
Melbourne. Sorry about that. Yes. So they are gearing up for season 2, such as it is. I don't watch reality television.
I never watched Desperate Housewives to start with.
Yes, I'm not a fan of garbage.
Yeah,
But apparently it is getting a lot of play. And we do have another woman there, Jane Roach. The second photo there. Yeah, that's not. Why so serious, Jane Roach? Basically, she put out a CV to find a PA, and over 180 people have responded to take out her sort of do her laundry and take out her trash and stuff like that. So
thank you very much, Cameron.
It's all right.
You'll be back next week with movies, but we'd love to talk to you more about what's coming up in television this year.
Yes.
Anything new that's happening. I'd love to hear about this new Channel 10 Get Me
Shark
Out of
Tank.
Here,
Oh,
Shark
sorry,
Tank,
Get Me Out of Here,
Get Me Out
yes.
of Here, and all that sort of thing. I'm a
Yes.
Celebrity. I
Yes.
want to talk more about that
Yes,
in a
reinvigorating 10-year-old British programs. Well done, Channel 10.
Well done.
Yes.
Originality. That's Cameron Lynch. Thank you very much for being on the show today. And we need to take a break because we're right out of time. And don't forget the Cancer Support WA. Check it out on our website, thecouch.com.au. They've got a fantastic comedy show coming up next week. We'd love you to support it. And we'll be back with more of The Couch. Spin it to win it next. See you then. Well done, everybody.
If you're looking for more info on anything you've seen on today's show, head to thecouch.com.au. It's where you'll find all the links for our guests, plus clips from the show, backstage photos, and even exclusive movie reviews. You can also sign up as a couchie and be part of our competitions, including Spin It to Win It. New Zealand viewers, that's open to you too. So jump online and check it out now. thecouch.com.au. Spin It to Win It is proudly supported by Ozito. Give it a go with Ozito.
Oh, I can't wait to play Spin It to Win It. Philip Cleaver's not here because he is caught in a car accident. So Tony Miranda's playing the role of him. Yes. Tony's our floor manager, of course. Thanks, Tony, for staying around. We have not got time to talk. I'm very sorry. Check out the prizes that Phil's going to be playing for today.
On the wheel tonight, you could win one of these fantastic prizes. Cleaning the backyard will be easy with this garden collection cart. Its 160-litre capacity and removable scoop make it the perfect gardening companion. Make your mark on your valuables with this electric engraver. Suitable for engraving a wide variety of materials, including metal, aluminium, plastics and brass. Or how about a staple and nail gun? This easy-to-load staple and nail gun features a pressure-actuated safety nose and can output up to 20 shots per minute. Great for reupholstering your tired furniture. It's a twin cutter kit. The twin tungsten carbide blades give clean, cold cuts in metal, plastics and wood. It's the ultimate DIY tool. Or how about an angle grinder kit? It's got a large 125mm grinding capacity and has a spindle lock, making it easier to change discs. It also features a safety lock on-off switch for added peace of mind. Or a buffer polisher. It can be used for cars, boats, granite, marble and stainless steel surfaces. With its random orbital action, it achieves an excellent finish without the swirl marks. Any one of these prizes could be yours when you spin it to win it.
Wow, wow, wow. Some great prizes there, Phil. It's a shame you're not here to spin. But Tony Miranda, our sexiest floor manager, will spin for you. Spin the wheel for us, Tony. Woo! Phil from Medina here in WA. He's going to win some great prizes. Let's have a look at what it lands on. Phil, it's landing on number, what do you reckon, 4, Tony? 4, 5, 5. 5. There you go. Barbara said it always lands on 4. You've won the angle grinder. You'll be able to grind that car out of the accident and take the motorbike off it and whatever you need to do. Now, if you would like to be like Phil and be part of the wheel, there's a prize. Good angle grinder. Very dangerous. Don't use it while you're in the car. Okay, if you want to be like him and you want to be part of the wheel, this is how you do it.
If you'd like to be a contestant on Spin It to Win It, all you have to do is head to thecouch.com.au. Sign up as a couchie and you'll be automatically registered to play. That website again, thecouch.com.au. Back to you, Fred.
Thank you very much. That is it for the show today. We're giving away to all the people, one person per month. We're going to give away a scraper. Please become a couchie and you'll win one of those. Every month we're going to give it away. That is it for the show today. Thank you very much to Tony Miranda for being part of it. Thank you for spinning the wheel. Thanks to you at home. Thanks to everybody. If you're wondering why I'm running, it's not because the studio is being booked. It's because we're out of time. We're going to go out today with a lovely guy. His name is Leon Leuba and he's singing a beautiful original song called True Love. See you next week, Australia. Bye.
Lights are out and you don't leave me. Or even take advice at all. Others won't you still believe me? And even pay the price of pain. True face to find in life and dreaming seems so different worlds away. Hold faith and seek your truth. Don't hold on back from minds of fear and hate. True face to find in life and dreaming. snow.